No black cats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen.
Welcome to the Parlay Pursuit, coming off the heels of UFC London, Edwards versus Brady. Going to talk a little bit about that card, then break down UFC Mexico, Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. But first, Dan, Alex, how was your weekend? How are you beautiful boys doing?
Weekend was awful. I took a bath. I brought my bath toy with me. The exact amount, you could do the math between this episode and the previous one. If you get the correct answer, I'll give you one of Luke's Bitcoin or something. But absolutely horrendous. I'm looking for something better out of myself this coming weekend, and I think I got a pretty solid lineup of choices here. I do pretty well with the UFC Noche cards and the Mexico cities. I do well with these, and I'm looking forward to this coming weekend. Alex, how was your previous weekend?
You know, a lot of people, if they had the type of weekend that I had, they'd probably be very, very down or very, very up. I'm choosing to look at it on the bright side, glass half full. I deleted DraftKings. I'm retired officially, responsibly retired. And I'm just a fan of MMA now. And I'm just watching it as a fan because these fights have been so great lately. Like that last weekend's card was phenomenal. The wrestling championships were phenomenal. I'm just watching everything as a fan. You learn to like it a lot more. Because God forbid I had money on Gable Steveson, which I know somebody who wanted to put money on Gable Steveson, and thank God they didn't get that opportunity because I would have been pretty sour myself. But watching it as a fan, great to see.
Guys, I mean, let's talk about that. So Alex and I actually attended the semifinals in Philadelphia. We met Clay Guida.
Wait a minute, that's where you guys were?
Yes.
Oh, what? That's awesome. All right, sorry, continue.
Yeah, so I made a game time decision, drove down to Philly, met up with Alex. We went to the NCAA college wrestling semifinals, day before the championships. Saw a bunch of great matches, mingled with the crowd, had a great time. And we got to – actually, we left and we run into Clay Guida. Got to meet Clay Guida, get a picture, talk a little bit about him. Talked to him about Joe Selecki, actually. He was like very surprised Joe was retiring. You know, it was a very cool dude. He kept getting phone calls while we were there with him.
Popular guy.
He was still talking to us all the time. Like his dad called him. He was getting calls from some ladies. He was the man. But afterwards, you know, I'm very pumped on wrestling. So I go home next day after the fights are on. I'm by myself. Wife's sleeping. Kids.
Mike KB no swag too, Luke. You don't leave no swag out of that.
Barstool.
Who is that?
He's from Barstool Sports.
Okay, I've heard of him.
So, and
great
we tried
guy.
to
Loves wrestling. Was a college wrestler for Kent State. Huge fan of his. It was great to meet him.
We're dead in Ohio.
KB, we were like, KB, dude, you guys don't have enough MMA content on Barstool. He's like, we don't. He's like, do you watch MMA? He's like, I'm trying to get more into it. We're like, you wrestled, you don't watch MMA? Okay, anyway, put that to the side. But there have been a lot of wrestlers who don't know a shit about MMA while we were there, to be honest. In the audience, in the crowd. Guys, this one wrestlers, this one guy wrestled against.
It's like going to a cricket game and asking about Nolan Ryan, Luke. They don't know shit.
Not really.
It's a different sport.
But dude, this guy behind us, he wrestled against Phil Davis.
Wow.
Yeah, he did.
And I was like, you know, he's like a sick MMA fighter. He's like, nah, I didn't follow his career too much. He's like, he's retired now, I'm sure. Like, well, yeah, but he like anyway. Yeah, met a bunch of cool dudes. But KB, we told him, we're like, dude, you guys got to get more MMA content on Barstool, and we could be that MMA content. And you know, he was a nice guy, but no kingmaker, not getting us in those doors apparently. So I get home, I'm watching after the fights, I'm watching the championship. I'm watching, having a good time. Heavyweight main event. Gable Steveson versus Wyatt Hendrickson. Okay, so Dan, did you see this match? Hear about it? Anything?
I saw the end. I saw the very end.
So
Luke,
great
put some respect on the man's name.
Second Lieutenant Wyatt Hendrickson. So what I love about this, man. So Wyatt walking to the mat, American flag. Gable Stevenson comes out to Big Papa B.I.G., Notorious B.I.G.
They have walkouts in college wrestling?
Yeah.
Whoa.
For the championship.
Yeah.
Walks out to, I like it when you call me Big Papa.
Celebration like no other, Dan. The pageantry.
That's
of
cool.
It was
I wish I tuned in. I wish I did.
But, and then Hendrickson comes out, Air Force guy, second lieutenant, comes out, American flag. He walks on the mat. Stevenson's in his face. He's chirping.
What did he come out to? What was the song?
Just like some American song.
Oh,
but it was hype. It was hype. Point is, it wasn't no fucking rap. You know what I mean? It wasn't. It wasn't some criminal drug dealer.
Oh my God! Stop.
So he comes out, and apparently, what was said to him by Stevenson, he said, he was wearing the American flag over his shoulder. He said something like, why are you wearing the American flag? You're not the gold medalist here. I'm the gold medalist here, or some shit like that. Like, you can only wear that when you win a gold medal. Ooh. So he's getting in his face. DC's going nuts. Daniel Cormier is commentating. He's like, oh, we have a main event, people. We have a main event. This is heavyweights. This is a main event. So match starts. Competitive, fast paced from the start. Stevenson is leading. What was it, Alex? 4-2. 30 seconds left. Wyatt Hendrickson shoots a takedown, cuts the corner, takes Stevenson down. Now that's usually 2. It's 3 now. 3 points. So it goes from 2-4 to 5-4. He's up by 1. 15 seconds left on the clock. If Stevenson gets up, it's tied. It goes into overtime. Takes him. He starts to get up. He pulls him back down. Crowd goes nuts. DC's going nuts. Jordan Burroughs doesn't say a word. Is completely silent. Can't even speak. He was the other commentator. The other commentator's going nuts. He has done it. Bro, one of the most inspiring things I've ever seen in my life, especially afterwards. Salutes Trump, hugs Trump. They say, what did President Trump say to you? He said he was proud of me. He came out to support his troops. That's my commander in chief right there. And then they go, well, what did it take to win this match? He's like, I was reading David versus Goliath, and I just did it. I just beat the Goliath. It gives me chills even thinking about it now. It was beautiful. Dude, I teared up watching. I'm sitting by myself, I'm like, holy shit, yes. I mean, I'm a fan of both. I don't care about, but I am a fan of the story, the underdog, the mountain he had to climb. I mean, Alex and I were watching the semifinals. Alex is just on Gable Stevenson's balls, just like telling everybody who will listen, this guy's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest wrestler of all time. He's the man. He's my hero. He's that. I see this, I'm like, dude. Oh now, Gable Stevenson is the Olympic champ, the national champ, the world champ. He had not been taken down.
Training for MMA. I would love to see that matchup. Why? You got to start training, because that will be the biggest heavyweight fight that we've seen in a long time.
Bro, he goes to the WWE, right? He's getting offered all this money. Goes to the Buffalo Bills for a cup of coffee.
Cappuccino. That's a cappuccino with the Buffalo Bills.
He goes, cappuccino, cup of coffee, venti grande.
Any of size.
Oh,
dude,
my God.
I mean, like, basically what you had was Hollywood versus blue collar, right? You had all the attention, all the accolades, expected to win, all the steam, all the smoke blown up his ass. Everybody recruiting him, everybody wanting him, everybody courting him.
Yeah, I know.
And then you have a guy who spends 4 years in the Air Force, is going to serve the country someday, got teched by Gabe Stevenson the first time they wrestled. Right? 15 points in 2
How long ago was that?
This season.
Oh, jeez. Wow. That's
Gable
crazy.
didn't get taken down once, like all season.
The entire season, Gabe Stevenson did not get taken down.
Yeah.
First time it happened was in the fucking college national championship.
Wow.
By Second Lieutenant Wyatt Hendrickson. Fan in me. I love that man. I was blown away. It was so inspiring. I showed my wife. I showed my in-laws. I'm like, you got to watch this. I'm like, and just knowing, like, I mean, every time I watched it, I was like, this is so beautiful. And the announcer, I forget his name, who was alongside DC and Jordan Burroughs, he was like, he has done it. Like, just epic. I mean, nobody saw that coming. Just I'll remember that for the rest of my life. That was just amazing. And then I FaceTime Alex as soon as it happens. Alex is like, he's not answering. I FaceTime his girlfriend, not answering. He finally calls me back. He's like, yo, what's up? I'm like, you watching this? He's like, yeah, I'm behind. Don't tell me. Don't spoil. I'm like, okay, hang up. And then another upset had happened. This guy O'Toole, who trained with Ben Askren, was like really good wrestler. He got upset too. So I was like, hey, was that what you were talking about? That upset? I'm like, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Just knowing, like, just fucking wait. Just fucking wait. And yeah, then it was like, holy shit, what a crazy moment.
How did Penn State do? Did they win?
Yeah. When me and Alex sat down for the semis, I look up at the scoreboard, I'm like, oh, Oklahoma State is not Oklahoma State, Nebraska is keeping it pretty tight with Penn State. He's like, it doesn't matter. Like, Penn State has so many guys in the finals. They won it yesterday. Like, they're not.
Was that four straight?
It's like 13 of the last 14.
No,
there's only been like 4 teams that have ever won the tournament.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's like what? Ohio State, Penn State,
Iowa,
and what? Oklahoma State?
Probably Oklahoma State. I don't know. But there's been like 4 teams ever that have won it.
Dang.
Yeah, so amazing. Go watch that match if you guys give a shit. But let's pivot into UFC. So if you were following my open bet sheet, I did have a winning night. I kind of ended up breaking even. So I had a 4-leg parlay: Nathaniel Wood, Alexa Thainara, Kevin Holland, and Carlos Ulberg. $100 to win $775. So I would have come out with some profit had I let it ride, but I cashed it out right before the Ulberg fight. They were all for me 5-0-1. And I was like, do I really care to risk? Like, I'll break even if I cash out. An extra $225 is not getting it for me. I'd rather win my money back and not risk it on Ulberg than win an extra $225. So I cashed that one out. But I don't know about you guys, I felt Mick Parkin got robbed.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching the fight. I felt like he won the fight. I mean,
there was a lot of shady decisions, and I was on the Ty Burris side. I didn't think he won personally, and same with Callum Lawren. I didn't really think he won either.
And seeing stupid ass big face idiot Mick Parkin hugging him afterwards and being fine with it really got me pissed. But I thought he won round 1. I thought he won round 2, and I thought he won round 3. So how he lost a split decision beyond
it was close though. It was close.
Who came closer to finishing the fight? Who had more moments than Mick Parkin? He almost finished him in round 2.
I don't know. I'm just happy they both had fun. I'm happy that they,
No, I'm not, because here's why. Let's say Mick Parkin gets that win. Then my parlay of Calvin Loughran, Mick Parkin, Chris Padilla, Nathaniel Wood, Kevin Holland, and at the top, Leon Edwards. 6-leg parlay, right? I'm telling you right now, you guys might not believe me, but I would have cashed this out. Right? I would not have let it up to Leon in the main event.
And I would have cashed out if Jan won. I was not liking what I saw out of Leon.
I wouldn't have left it up to Leon, right?
Mm-mm.
But $100 bet, it was $100 for $9,052. If just Mick Parkin wins. Meaning I could have cashed it out for 3.8, 4.5.
That'd be a record. No one's hit the 4s on the show.
And I promise you I would have. Or I at least would have hedged on Jean.
No, if you had Leon, who was like,
I would have hedged. I would have just cashed it out. I would have just cashed it out clean.
I know. But on a $9,000 win for a plus 120 dog, I feel like you'd get less than half. So
a little less than half.
No, I feel like they go pretty low. You get like 3.
It would have been 3. It'd been 3. And 3 would have taken me
a little bit of change
back to base at least.
Which is nice. Yeah, it's good.
I would have cashed, and I would have been happy with it.
I have a couple bones to pick, if you don't mind me bringing up these 2 people.
Well, let me just say one last thing before.
Right. Sorry.
Did have a parlay going to Calvin Loughran, Chris Duncan, Kevin Holland, Edwards by knockout.
Dang.
Now they were offering me $700. They were offering me $650 on a $50 bet before the Leon fight on that, and Leon was a 5-1 by knockout. So I let it ride. It was 50 for $5,623. But I could have put another $607 or so back in my bank account by cashing that one out. But I was like, I'll never forget myself if I leave 5,000 on the table and Leon goes out there and knocks him out. And I just kept seeing in my head Bilal Muhammad getting the jump on Sean Brady with the striking. Sean Brady struggling to get Gilbert Burns down. I felt like Leon's takedown defense would be there. And honestly, even during the walkouts, I'm like, Leon's got the fucking eye of the tiger here. Sean Brady didn't perform well in Abu Dhabi. How's he going to perform jet lagged? He has a newborn baby at home. But in hindsight, it's like, yeah, Sean Brady, like, he's just tougher up here than Leon, and that's always going to be the difference maker.
But the Brits are honorable folks, Luke. They didn't go with any of their boys all night long. When it came down to shady decisions that it could have went either way, they never did once, which was insane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Chris Padilla, Jai Herbert. Like, I thought Padilla won, but I mean, first 2 rounds were close. Like,
yeah, they could have went with Jai Herbert. Exactly what I'm saying. Like, they could have went with Jai Herbert. They could have went with the big-headed guy that you were talking about.
Chris Padilla, I don't want to see you throw another fucking leg kick in your life. Please never. Like, that guy's leg kicks were riffing so bad. He looked so unathletic throwing the leg kicks. Stop throwing leg kicks. You're not a wrestler. Jai Herbert, what the fuck was that? I mean, I bet on Chris Padilla, but I was not feeling confident in either person going into the decision. But yeah, it was a great night.
CLD, not exciting at all. Herbert and Leon are the same exact fighter. Like, he invites couples dates, and I don't know, and the couple disappear after.
You do.
That does happen.
You look like with those glasses, you look like Dahmer, and with the polo and the tucked in, you look like Luigi. Leon a bum. He's gonna have to get a belly and fight at light heavyweight. Yeah, very true. Leon is a bum. Just a mess. Leon's a mess. That's what I'll call him, a mess.
All right, let me give us some messes here. Big time on my never bet again list. Number 1, Guram Kutaladze. Boy, is this guy making me look dumb. I went to bat for him in picking him. I was like, he's going to destroy him. This guy has so much talent. His losses are to super high competition, and he was hanging in there. Oh my God. Dude, I'm going to get myself canceled if I release the amount of hate I have for this guy. Just never got going, never showed any sense of urgency, beat to the punch every time, just didn't feel like he even wanted to be there. Of course, he turned it on a little bit in the 3rd round, too little, too late. And then my next one, I put so much faith in this girl. Pooja Tomar couldn't adjust to a freaking sidekick, just backing up constantly, landing the bigger shots, landing a huge leg kick, or head kick. And then following her to the ground, not just doing the obvious thing, let her stand up and just, tee off. Just no ring IQ there.
Yeah, we talk about regions that have had success in MMA and regions.
Okay, well, it's a new region. It's a new region, India.
No,
give it a little bit of time.
It's one of the oldest countries in America. And here's the thing.
She did land the head kick. Like, she did not.
I didn't even watch that fight. I was outside playing with bubbles with my daughter. I said,
"Oh my god!"
I said, no reason crazy. To watch it. It was actually one of the best fights on the card.
I said, no reason to watch this. Yeah, but crazy like how?
Mama B got tagged and then submitted her off her back. It was phenomenal
with an arm bar.
I go and I said,
it was White.
Hey, I didn't have either of them in any I didn't have either of them in any parlay, but just for my own knowledge, I said, "Boy, she was."
I was salivating over the plus 180 of Tomar, and she is a better striker. She is better, but she was just backing up from side kicks the whole time. She couldn't adjust at all for a big nothing burger technique that even the bottom of the barrel of the UFC's lady division, they all adjusted. That Shauna Band's not a successful UFC fighter.
I mean, listen, we talk about Japan. You say well, there's never been a Japanese UFC champion. But at least they have some guys who have fought for a title, who have made waves. There's never been a male Indian fighter in the UFC.
Well, there has.
The Native American Indians
Jubal
success in the UFC with what's that one guy's name? The guy
Roosevelt Roberts.
No.
Fought Roosevelt Roberts.
No, he fought
Alex Pereira.
No,
he was a Native American.
He was Native Brazilian.
I know who you're talking about. He got
South American dumbass.
He fought bare knuckle. He fought the redhead guy. Guys,
Yeah.
somebody in the chat. Who am I thinking of? But my point is, there's never been a male Indian fighter to win. One guy has won one fight.
Yeah.
In the UFC.
It's new.
Untold Jubilee.
You gotta give it time.
Yet you wanted to think that you and Clint wanted to think that, and that once I saw that was Clint's dog pick of the night, I knew you were dead to rights. But
I didn't know that. I would have reversed course. No offense, Clint.
It's Clint Terry in the coal mine, you know.
If you looked at the group chat once, you'd find out right away.
Yeah.
You would have known immediately. Oh shit! Let me cash out.
Guram with Ilya Taporia, Hamzat Chimaev, and Alexander Gustafsson, his training partner, can't rub two nickels together to win a fight in the UFC. I mean, Guram is the biggest disappointment. The guy who has the breeding, right? He's Georgian. He trains with some of the best fighters of all time. He seems to have all the things that you'd want, like competent striker, tough, good chin, takedowns. Like he seems to have everything you'd want, from the corner to the pedigree to the champs that he trains with, the gym. And this guy has disappointed who has disappointed more at big favorite odds than Guram Kutulakadze? I mean, bum. I had him on my perfect parlay, and that's it. But even that one, if I just left him off and Parkin didn't get robbed, was 50 for 5.5 thousand, and every other one won that night. 9-leg parlay. So I mean, yeah, fuck Guram. I will say I thought Lonnie Kavanaugh fought under his potential and deserved to lose that fight. I thought Felipe Dos Santos landed more strikes and fought better and did more damage.
Oh yeah, I thought he won the fight. Maybe I was just like so pissed from.
But I'll forgive that because the judges gave it to. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a little NWO. I appreciate you, but we're gonna disregard that comment for now. But
oh my God.
And by the way, NWO, did you take me up on my offer? Did you? We had a bounty. The stat diggers. The I didn't see any video evidence of that. So, listen. Kevin Holland beating up on Gunnar Nelson like that. Beautiful, amazing, great judge's decision. Finally, we have some judges not rewarding nut huggers, not rewarding these crotch sniffers, not rewarding cowardly fighting. I mean, Gunnar Nelson is like, you're a Viking, I thought. Aren't you a fucking Norse fucking god of war Viking? And you're out here fighting like a complete pansy ass. And
but I'll tell you what, Kevin Holland did not make it easy to go into that decision. Like he thought it was close. Joe Rogan thought it was close. Brendan Schaub thought it was close.
I thought it could be one of those disappointing things where you don't feel like the guy who did the damage and came to fight and fought hard. And I mean, he dropped them bad in round one. I thought that stole round one. And then Gunnar didn't land any strikes on top. Kevin was landing everything from the bottom. So I think I really would love to see. Look, I'm not talking like a guy gets full mount. I'm not talking like a guy is landing and the other guy is landing, right? I'm comfortable letting guys who use the I'm comfortable guys winning on top position if they are landing and the other guy is landing. All things equal, the guy on top should win. But when all things aren't equal, the guy on bottom deserves the nod because, like Chael Sonnen says, do you have my legs or do I have your arms? NWO says, I used the money to get 2 McDoubles for me and a 20-piece nugget and 2 McDoubles from this. Well, guess what? I said that if you donated the 25 to Stat Diggers for a live chat to promote our podcast, I said I would give you 50. So you would have had
$25.
$25. And then the McNuggets could have been on me. Your missus could have thanked me for the McNuggets. And you would have been helping us out. But anyway, no worries. Just do your thing. What do we do for you besides show up here week after week, give you great picks, open bet sheet, breakdowns, fights, etc. I mean, entertainment, all that. Good movies to watch. Have you seen The Prestige yet?
I have not.
I went back and watched The Departed with the Miss. Holds up, even better. I haven't seen it since high school. 10 years, 20 years later, even better. Amazing movie. Lots of good quotable moments. Love that movie. And another man buy my woman dinner on her birthday. I just feel bad for your wife that her birthday dinner was McDonald's. Like my wife's birthday is coming up. We're probably gonna get not McDonald's. And plus, McDonald's, I mean, tip aside, you're paying like restaurant level entree prices for McDonald's these days. I mean, you can go to a pretty good restaurant and get like a couple sides, split an entree, be in and out for like, only a little bit more than a big McDonald's meal. So
at least go to Chick-fil-A or
no, Chick-fil-A is terrible. Five Guys. Go to Five Guys.
Well, if you're getting
Bell. So anyway, I think that kind of, I think the heroes of the night, Chris Duncan, you're the man. Nathaniel Wood, you're the man. Kevin Holland.
Molly McCann, beautiful career.
Scrub, idiot, never should have gotten a speech, disgusted by her speech, disgusted by Patty the Batty.
How about Tainara or whatever her name is? Give her some credit. She was amazing. Great walkout, great fight, great finishing dance. It was all great. Very entertaining. Bringing some life into that division.
Olberg, you're a scrub. Herbert, you're a scrub. McParkin, I'm, you know what they call a good loser? A loser. So enjoy the rest of your career as a fucking loser, undefeated, got your O taken in some bullshit and didn't even care. I cared more than you. That says a lot.
You know what's interesting about that, Luke? After watching all those wrestlers who make no money at all and how much they cared and how much they wanted it, you would have expected that they got paid double. And in fact, most of them did get paid double. 0 to 0 is still double, my friend.
That's the problem, is paying them at all.
Yeah. I saw more exciting wrestling matches, the guys trying way harder than I've ever seen in the UFC. It was insane.
Hitting the floor like somebody ran their fucking dog over when they lost. Hitting the floor like they just watched all their loved ones get hit by 57 arrows from an Apache tribe. And they're hitting the ground, hitting the deck crying because they lost a fucking wrestling match. Where the result of them losing was that they're number 2 in the country or number 3 in the country versus number 1 in the country. And they care that much. These guys literally fighting to win double the amount of money that they would have fucking won if they had not lost. And they don't seem to give a shit about not only having another man take money out of your mouth, out of your family's funds, and also your career getting halted and possibly even ended entirely. It's like, hey, Parkin, you lose 2 more and cut from the UFC. How are you going to feel about that first one you lost, where if you didn't lose that, maybe you're still in the UFC? It's like, they don't care. None of them want to be there. It's a fake tough guy sport. They all are happy to be there and happy to be able to, they just want to have the best gym in their hometown. They want to be able to go back to their hometown, put their poster, put their gloves on the wall, and then collect $100 a month for fucking unlimited training and sit there and hold pads for the rest of their fucking lives. That's the life they deserve. Don't pay these guys more, pay them less. I want the ceiling in the UFC to be higher, and I want the floor to be much lower. I want entry-level UFC guys to be owing money by the time they're done with their fight in all cases. And the only people who should make money are Diego Lopes and every champion. That's who they should fucking pay. People who give a shit, people who give a damn and want to be there. You got guys from third world countries fighting harder than guys like Mick Parkin. What are you making? 35 and 35? $35,000 ain't going very far in fucking London these days. Tell you that much. The dragon is down. What do they call them? The balloon is down, or whatever the fuck kind of fake money you guys have with the Queen's face on it. What do they call? The sixpence is down. Got Japanese guys fighting for 1/6 of their money in yen. And they
could just use euros, right?
Yeah, you got fucking a Japanese guys getting paid $16,000. He goes home, it's worth $1,000.
It's a good deal.
No, I'm saying they're getting paid in yen. The UFC got a tricky deal. You get 16 and 16 yen. Dana White's playing arbitrage games. Anyway, we love you guys. Thanks for being here. Let's talk next week's card. I think that's about it, right? Kalen Loughran, you're a beast. You're a hero. Irish hero. St. Patrick's Day hero. And yeah, I'm looking to grab Felipe Dos Santos.
Sean Brady's the man. Did we not mention Sean Brady is the man? Like, he whooped the shit out of Leon Edwards.
I would have loved. I love Philly. I love the Eagles. I love the Flyers. I love the city of Philadelphia, but I would have happily seen Sean Brady get knocked out worse than Bryce Mitchell did against fucking Josh Emmett to win $5,000. Tell you that much. So I would have happily traded any Philadelphia Pride for $5,000. So you give me $5,000, I'll root against the Eagles in every game they have next year. Okay.
The rest of your life.
No, just one season. For 5,000, one season. But really what it came down to was that, people cut from the cloth of Leon Edwards.
He's from Manchester. That's the tough part of England.
It ain't Philly, and you know that.
Well, I know that.
That's what Sean Brady said.
Philadelphia. It ain't Philadelphia.
Yeah, the last time I checked, he doesn't have a devil tattoo encompassing his entire back.
And would you believe he wasn't even the most tattooed person on the card? Jordan Volchenik.
Tattoos are so lame. If I learned anything from this card, it's tattoos are so lame.
I'm so glad we got 3 boys here, no tattoos.
No tats. Unblemished.
We have the clean cut look that never goes out of style.
Never.
What's that from? Shit.
How I Met Your Mother.
Wait, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Barney Stinson, he said it to Ted Mosby. He was like, "No, Ted, you have the clean cut look that never goes out of style." Not a big How I Met Your Mother guy either, guys. Just
I would never admitted that I knew. If I knew it was,
I was 13 once. I mean.
There you go.
All right, so UFC Mexico. Let's get into it. Lots of fights were pulled off this card. So we were going to have Yair Rodriguez versus Diego Lopez. It fizzled. We were going to have Moreno versus Erceg. It fizzled and then was brought back. I don't know why they have that on Tapology. Zaluber was supposed to be here against Hubbard. And Zaluber withdrew. But before that, he was going to fight Brenner. And Brenner withdrew. So what does Zaluber know about Austin Hubbard that he didn't want to fight? He was going to fight Elvis Brenner. Brenner pulls out, and then they give him. They say, "Okay, you got Austin Hubbard." He goes, "No way." Very interesting. Rafa Garcia was going to fight Joaquin Silva. Silva withdrew, and Yasmin Uruguay was going to fight Dion Barbosa. Barbosa withdrew. They give her Julia Palastri. Uruguay all of a sudden has an injury. Likely story. So now Palastri is going to fight Godinez. Kind of short notice for both of them, it would seem. Rafa Garcia is going to fight Vince from Hell Pachel. And Hubbard is going to fight Markel Medeiros, 9-1 UFC newcomer. Other than that, I think we got there's a couple spots I'm zeroed in on where I'm like, how, why, take my money, please. We'll get to those in a sec. First, we got Austin Hubbard versus Markel Medeiros. This guy, Markel Medeiros, he's coming off of, he did fight in the UFC. He has fought in the UFC before. Came off the Contender Series against Isa Isakov. Knocked him out with a knee a year and 5 months ago. Then a year ago, fought Landon Quinones to a unanimous decision. That was a year and 1 month ago. 28 years old, 5 years younger than Austin Hubbard. 155-pound matchup, equal height, somewhat equal reach. Medeiros, this is a battle of Colorado. We got Factory X Muay Thai versus Elevation Fight Team. Austin Hubbard coming off that loss, split decision to Alex Hernandez. A lot of people thought he won that. Before that, he beat Michael Figlak by decision. Before that, he lost to Kurt Holloway by triangle choke. Before that, he wasn't in the UFC just yet, but he is the plus 160 underdog to Medeiros' minus 190. Factory X Muay Thai Elevation Fight Team battle for Colorado taking place in Mexico. Elevation will not affect these gentlemen, and they're the opening fight of the night, a fight that Dana White probably believes will be the most exciting fight. I heard an interview he did with Forbes magazine. He said, you make the first fight of the night your most exciting. You make the fight before the main card opener and the main card opener, you make those really exciting. And then, you want to get your main event. Obviously, you want that to be pretty exciting.
He's just saying that so you buy the pay-per-view earlier.
Well, people buy when they see. He's not trying. I buy every pay-per-view. He's not trying to get me. He's trying to get the guys who are just at home. They throw it on. The last fight ends and like, I want more. And then they go for more. So just something to keep in mind about pacing, right? How they perceive the pacing of the card to go. Austin Hubbard, 16-8. Markel Medeiros, 9-1. What do you guys think about this fight?
I'm not going with Thud. Thud is a durable vet. I thought he won against Alexander Hernandez, but, I've seen all I can see a Thud, and I don't think that his game has been necessarily growing as his age has. He's kind of doing the same old, same old. I just think Markel will be able to get it done. Dan, how about yourself?
Completely disagree. I'm going to go with Austin Hubbard here. Guy has never been knocked out. He has been finished, been submitted a couple times, as I'm seeing now, but very durable. A UFC vet who, I don't think is great anywhere, but is pretty solid everywhere. I expect him to put on a pace and make this really hard for the UFC newcomer. And I think this is a very solid dog shot, at the very least, dog or pass. So give me Austin Hubbard. I think he's going to pull it off to start the night.
Yeah. I kind of agree with Dan. When I did a first glance of the card, my first instinct was, who the hell is it? Markel, who the hell is Markel? Compared to Hubbard, at least Hubbard we've seen, in there. And I think this is a interesting fight. I don't expect Markel to be, big submission guy. Let's see. I mean, he's a knockout or bust kind of guy. He's won losses by decision. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Hubbard here. I have him in a parlay already. It was a 10-leg parlay. I just I kind of took some of my winnings last week and just did a first instinct kind of parlay, like a, let's see what happens here type of thing. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Hubbard. Like Dan said, if anything, it's dog or pass. So first fight of the night. We'll see where this guy Markel Medeiros is at, but I like that he's at Factory X. I like Factory X better than Elevation, but over the course of 3 rounds, might be a better live betting situation for Hubbard if he loses the first round, but kind of rallies. But I'm just gonna go with Hubbard, dog or pass. Next, we got Jamal Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. Gabriel Miranda coming off that knockout by Morgan Charrier only 5 months ago. And Jamal Pretty Boy Emmers getting knocked out 11 months ago by Nate Landwehr. So both are 35, both coming off knockout losses. Jamal Emmers, though, you'll remember him from way back in the day when he got heel hooked by Pat Sabatini right off the rip. He's been loss, win, loss ever since. He's going to be the favorite here. Really stinky fight. Not one you could really have any faith in either guy. But I'll be on the Jamal Emmers side here. I'm taking Jamal Emmers. Almost a 3-1 favorite. You got to hold your nose and go with it. But yeah, that'll be my pick. Jamal Emmers.
I'm going with Jamal Emmers as well. I'm super high on Jamal Emmers. I love Jamal Emmers. I feel like I've taken him in every single one of his fights. I think that the time off will do him well. Miranda got knocked out very badly 5 months ago. Jamal Emmers took a whole year to recover. Think he's going to go out there and piece up Gabriel Miranda.
Yeah, Emmers is going to style on him for sure. Super confident. I'm glad to put a triple P certification stamp on this thing. Way more athletic, way more diverse. He could wrestle his ass off. He's got cardio. He got slick striking. A UFC vet. Really high level of competition. Took Giga to a split. And some other quality wins and finishes on his resume as well at the UFC level. So give me Jamal Emmers. What is he, like a minus 300 favorite, something like that, in that ballpark? Minus 340. Minus 340. So paying somewhat of a hefty price tag, but I think completely justified. Nice little parlay plump. All right. Next fight. You want to go into it, Alex? I see you chomping at the bit over there.
Yeah, we got half of a Garcia versus Vince from Hell Pichel. These guys virtually identical. Half of Garcia shaves off half of his facial hair. He'll look just like Vince Pichel. And I'm going with Vince. I got to go with Vince on this one.
God.
He defies Father Time a lot. Half of Garcia. Maybe if it was a full Garcia, I'd go for it. But, Dan, Vince Pichel is going to win this one.
No, I don't think so. What do we got? if memory serves correct, it's a 12-year age gap.
Yes.
I looked at it last night. It is 12 years. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to ride with that. I'm also going to ride with the fact that I am a Rafa Garcia fan. Like, he's a really good fighter. He's got incredible cardio, endurance, got a hell of a chin. Not that Vince Pichel is fucking knocking anyone out anyway. And he could wrestle his ass off, which, you know, a lot of think Vince, whatever his name is, Pichel from hell, is just like being a grimy, grinding fighter. I don't think he's going to be able to do that to Garcia. He's got all the grappling and wrestling background he needs to offensively wrestle himself or just piece him up on the feet and use that 12-year age gap to his advantage. So Rafa Garcia minus 485. Yeah, it sucks, but like that's the pick. He's going to win.
Vince from Hell Pichel will be my pick.
Oh my God. No way, dude. You guys are crazy.
He's not even a whole Garcia. He's only half a Garcia. He stinks. You know, he really does stink. And I'm going with.
How does he stink?
He lost to Jakar Close. He lost to Kurt Skuchmacher as a huge favorite. He lost to Grant Dawson, which is fine, but who has he beat? Mahashate. Who's he beat? Clay Guida. Who's he beat? Jesse Bronson. Yeah.
Clay Guida. Do not slander the great Clay
Yeah,
Guida, Luke.
That's the guy. At Clay Guida.
Just trust me on this. It's Vince Pichel. It's Vince Pichel all day.
I have Vince Pichel too. Let the record show.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Okay, next we got Lukey Godinez versus Julia Psycho Palastri. Julia coming off a split decision against Corey McKenna Poppins. Before that, lost to Josephine Knutson. And then Lukey Godinez lost to Mackenzie Dern, lost to Verna Jandaroba, split decision Tabitha Ricci, submitted Elise Reed. Good job there. She's from Guadalajara. She's a Guadalajara Mexican. So I'm going with Loopy. You know, a lot of people find Loopy to be laughable. I don't. I take her very seriously, and I like her, and I'm going to go with Loopy.
I got to second you on this one. I got to second you on this one for sure. I don't necessarily. I thought Josephine Knutson might have been the future after I saw her against Palastri, but that died out super quick. This is just this is a race to the bottom, and I think Lukey Godinez is going to work her way up to the top.
She's going to get her to the ground, get takedowns 2 of the 3 rounds. Loopy by decision.
Yeah, I got to go with Loopy as well. Minus 238, not the type of price you want from a lady favorite. And I think I'm going to learn my lesson from last fight card and just avoid lady fights on this card altogether. But Triple P certified Lukey Godinez in the meantime.
And, you know, Loopy, I think she lost to Angela Hill. So,
What
do you do? But, you know, who doesn't lose to Angela Hill? Like, at some point or another. She's got some embarrassing losses, for sure. But her last 2 were not embarrassing. Mackenzie and Verna. 2 mainstays of the women's division. Let's not waste any more time breaking this fight down.
Let she who without Hill cast the first stone.
I was talking to my mom, and she advised we don't even break down women's fights on the podcast anymore. You know, she was like, "You just skip them." I was like, "I've been thinking about that for years, Mom." I was like, "Mom," and just how long will our audience even take to like comment on it? Like, if we just rolled right through and just were like, all right, next we got Mikaela Costa versus, you know.
Yeah. Probably a couple episodes. All right. Next up, we have Jose Medina and Ataba Gautier.
Okay.
I guess I will.
Wait, what?
We got Costa versus Rodriguez.
Oh, I'm going off DraftKings. Costa versus Rodriguez. I'm gonna go Christian Rodriguez all day. C-Rod has got the goods. He can really grapple. He's composed in there. never freaks out, even in bad positions. High octagon IQ, can strike as well, really durable. I mean, that's kind of a given at 145, but some guys aren't great at it. I'll tell you what, he's not going to be like what's his face who just got submitted by Costa in that guillotine. That ain't going to be him. So
That
Christian
punk.
Rodriguez,
Andre Fili, that punk.
Andre Fili. He's not going to Andre Fili it up. So let's go with. I'm just checking the odds here.
I got you, Dan, because I bet Rodriguez in a parlay on Sunday minus 174. That line has narrowed. Minus 156 now.
Yep.
So I love it. Keep betting Costa because I'm going all in on Rodriguez. He's an absolute monster. He destroyed Austin Batchy, beat Isaac Dolgarian, beat Cameron Simon, beat Raul Rosas Jr. He is the prospect fucking killer.
I mean, what does the UFC have against the guy? They gave him all the top prospects in his like first 4.
He missed weight a few times.
What do they have against their prospects that they keep feeding them?
Yeah. I like that. Yes.
All right.
Undefeated Raul Rosa, undefeated Cameron Simon, undefeated Isaac Dolgarian, undefeated Austin Batchy. What do they have against these 4 undefeated guys that they fed to him and he destroyed them and ended up? He didn't destroy Dolgarian, but that they fed him to him and he sits there and says, "How many times I gotta keep telling you? You got an undefeated guy. You want him to have a fucking loss on his record? You give him to me. You're not looking for the next John Jones, I guess, because you're giving him to me, and you're giving him to me early. And he's getting better and better every time out. Sure, he got guillotined by Julian Erosa. Julian Erosa is the old version of C-Rod. You give him one of these guys who should fucking win and are up, and he'll guillotine their ass. So, yeah, it's C-Rod. It's C-Rod all day. Anything south of minus 200, I think, is fair. And I thought, Andre Fili was looking really good against Costa until he wasn't. Andre Fili had 11 losses going into that fight. This guy's got 2. It's the 27-year-old. I think he's going to style on him in the striking. He ain't getting taken down. It's going to be a beat down. Yeah,
I'm going with C-Rod too. First thing when I see Costa, I think, how in the hell do you milk a scorpion? But I digest, I'm going with C-Rod here. Luke said it all.
All right. Cholby certified.
Luke, you start taking that blue scorpion venom I sent you?
I have not yet.
You got to get into it. Oh, does it work? I tore my bicep last week. Feels great. I was benching today.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to take some blue scorpion.
Okay.
I'll give you my report. And then I think I'm going to move to Austin, Texas, too.
Oh, Texas is different. All right.
Next, we got Atiba Gauthier versus Jose Medina. Jose Medina coming off back-to-back losses, over the last year and a half. First 2 fights in the UFC, one all in the Contender Series, one in the UFC. Lost both of them, but didn't get finished. And got into the UFC off a loss. Fought Zach Reese, who was a gigantic favorite, like minus 1,000. Fought him to a decision. Even had some moments. Whereas this guy's making his debut off the Contender Series. He's 22 years old from Cameroon. Okay? You guys remember the KO Wizard?
I do recall the KO Wizard.
This is stinking like hot garbage, just like the KO Wizard at minus 600 against a guy who goes for submissions against a guy who they're in a jiu-jitsu school within a stone's throw or a fucking you can't shoot a missile from an RPG wearing dress shoes and a Dallas Mavericks 2001 NBA championship hat. So, I mean, how you gonna do jiu-jitsu against a guy where there's probably 5 jiu-jitsu schools in his county? In terms of I forget his name, but that guy,
Jose Medina.
No, the other guy who beat the KO Wizard.
Ricky Turquoise.
No, the 50-50 guy.
Carlos Vera.
Carlos Vera, that's his name. Yeah. He was always going to submit the KO Wizard. And I think Medina walks Gauthier down and just gasses him out and TKOs him. It's going to be one of those TKOs against the cage where Gautier is getting hit. And he just drops to his butt, and then the ref just goes, enough. He's 22. He's all cocky, out of Cameroon, doesn't know what he doesn't know, and hasn't faced any adversity. Jose Medina is going to give him that adversity. Jose Medina is going to win.
Yeah, Luke, I'm not sold on unproven, unblemished KO artists from Africa. I'm not Toto. I'm not following this yellow brick road. I'm going with Jose Medina for the white bricks road because he's from Bolivia.
Bolivia, them white bricks. Bolivia. Or are you thinking of Bogota?
No?
Bolivia's got their fair share of cocaine as well, I'm sure. So,
yeah, for sure. You've never heard the Wu-Tang Clan?
Little Bolivian Bam Bam.
Very true. All right. Do you want to get on to the next one while we await Danny's return?
We can vamp. We can fill the time. So,
Sorry, bros. There was an earthquake. The Medina fight. I'm going to go with Medina. Now, obvious dog or pass situation. I am not probably actually betting this unless I have enough Miller Lite. But we got this young guy, very little fight experience, knockout artist dude coming in against a guy who's proven to have cast iron chin, very durable, keeps moving forward, has submission skills. Obviously is not a great fighter by any means, but if this kid gets all amped up and then just totally has a complete drop in energy, then it might be Medina. So dog or pass, not calling it, but that's my pick.
Triple P certified, Jose Medina.
Don't worry,
It touched me hard. Oh,
no, sir.
It's just like, you want to bet on a minus 600 fighter out of Africa who has no ground game and has never tasted any adversity, let alone a loss.
We had like 4 African champs lately. Like, what are you talking about? Africa's coming through.
All those guys
They were fighting out of France, America, and New Zealand.
All right, well, they got their start in Africa, and that's where this guy's starting. I'm sure he'll end up in ATT soon enough.
Well, right now he's at Gym Unknown.
Badass.
He's doesn't know what he doesn't know, has never fought anybody good at all in any facet, any of size, and he lost a split decision to Glenn the Sledge Williams, who's 1-0.
Glenn the Sledge.
His only win is against this guy. So
what was he getting himself into? Who signs up for that?
Yeah, it's Jose Medina all day, all night. Next, we got Edgar Chavez versus CJ Vergara. Both guys coming off losses. CJ back-to-back. Josh Van got...
Holy shit. Hold on one sec. This Glenn Williams fella is an interesting guy. He was like 36, 37 years old, signed up for one fight, said, I'm out of here. What a... Hey, a lot better judgment than a lot of the guys we've seen.
Yeah, he had an extensive amateur career, only won the fight by split decision. And that fight was in 2022. The guy fought once in pros, hasn't fought since. So now he's 40 years old. So at the time he was 37, like you said. Yeah. So this is crazy. Who are these people inflating this line? The silent assassin. No way.
Edgar Chavez versus CJ Vergara. So I personally am going to take Chavez on this one. And I think it's I'm looking at this the way Luke's looking at the Jamal Emmers fight. Just holding my nose and hoping for the next one.
It's dog or pass for me. It's dog or pass for me. I think CJ Vergara has a higher ceiling than he's shown. I think that it's a must-win situation for him.
You know who else you had a higher ceiling for than what you've seen? Daniel Lacerda. And Edgar Char has kicked his ass twice.
So did CJ Vergara.
Fair enough.
So, look, I mean, both these guys have a win against the GOAT, Daniel Lacerda, the next Conor McGregor. I'm going with CJ because I think he's got the wrestling. I think he can get this guy down.
I mean, I'll second you on this. I don't know if you still need more time on your pick, but I will go with CJ Vergara as well. I think, this guy's been, when we're talking about bad matchups to start their UFC career, this guy's had it pretty damn bad. But he's still putting up really high volume, almost doubling Edgar Chairez, who, I mean, he's lost to some good guys, but his wins are not anything credible. So I think Vergara is a good play here at plus 225. And I'm not even picking it straight up just for the value. I'm picking it for the pick's sake. I think he's going to get it done. Can't overlook CJ Vergara. He shows a lot of heart and a lot of skill even in these losses.
Dan, you almost pulled me back, but I told myself last weekend, we don't bet on guys just because they've had competitive losses.
This is true.
I'm done with that. I'm done with these competitive losses that I rate a guy so much better because he still lost a fight that was still one-sided. That it was obvious it was one-sided, but we thought that he represented himself well. I'm done with that. Losers are losers, winners are winners.
Felipe dos Santos.
Bingo. That's exactly what I thought. That's who brought the thought to my head in the first place.
All right, next we got Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Kevin Bjorgas. I'm going with the Black Cat. I'm going with Kevin Bjorgas. He's Peruvian. They live at altitude. Ronaldo Rodriguez is, Mexican, but doesn't mean he trains at altitude. And I think that he hasn't faced enough adversity to – he did face adversity in the Ode Osborne fight, but the thing is he hasn't faced enough adversity for me to go – this guy is going to be able to win against a tough Peruvian in a must-win situation at altitude. Kevin Bjorgas for me.
But Luke, he lost to another one of your goats, Jerome Rivera.
Dude, that's bad. Bad on your resume.
I'm going with Ronaldo Rodriguez here. Seems pretty obvious to me. He's a lot more ferocious. He throws with bad intention. He's angry. He'll make it a dogfight, and he'll win a dogfight. I'm going with Rodriguez. Although he is the lazy boy, he's not very lazy in the cage. He's very active in there.
You said it. He lost to Jerome Rivera, and he's the lazy boy, and he's fighting at altitude. You said it. I mean, but you went the wrong way.
Honestly, this was a landmine fight for me. I wasn't comfortable on going either way with it. But now seeing, as Alex, you pointed out, Rivera Ronaldo losing to Jerome Rivera, I think I'm confidently on the Rojas side. Last time I saw him fight, I believe I was watching it with you, and he kicked my guy's ass. I forget who he was fighting, but he totally sucked my parlay. Looked great doing it. These Peruvians, they train at the highest of altitude. So
your boy Ode Osborne, one of your guys' goats. We're walking down memory lane today. That's who he beat the shit out of, and it was on.
No. We weren't watching when he fought Ode Osborne. It was someone else.
Oh,
but no, he's a good fighter. He's a hell of a good fighter. So I'm gonna go with him. Another dog, man. These dogs are racking up.
Yep, it's the year of the dog apparently. Because I think there's been like 12 dogs that have won over the last two cards. So
yes,
So, next we got Simon Oliveira versus David Martinez. David Martinez, hot prospect coming off the Contender Series with a win against, at the time, undefeated Xavier Franklin. But, he's going to be 7 years younger, less reach, similar height, but ultimately minus 400 favorite. So what I'll say is this. If Medina loses, then so does Martinez, right? Like one of these big favorites or big dogs is gonna fucking get the win because there's no reason for it, right? Simon Oliveira he hasn't fought in 2 years. That's fair, but he's got the experience. He's in a need to win situation. You could see how the UFC is just rolling him off the couch to fight a guy in Mexico that they want the crowd to be jumping for and to get a win, an 11-1 guy. So I'll go with David Martinez, but I don't love the odds and I won't be betting it.
I saw a guy, not but 4 or 5 months ago, get off the couch after 2 years and beat one of the greatest heavyweights to ever live. I think Simon Oliveira has that same John Jones mentality, and I'm going with him. Luke, you said it. One of these big favorites is going to be the skunk at the garden party, and I think it's going to be David Martinez. We're just reversed. One of us is going to be right. I know for sure we're going to flip-flop on these.
Well, you picked Medina.
I picked Medina.
Yeah. So, I mean, Simon Oliveira is John Jones and Daniel Lacerda is Conor McGregor. Okay, cool.
Oh, and I also picked Vince Michelle. Maybe I'm just dog hunting today.
Just bet him individually, you know?
I'm not gambling.
Oh, right.
Wait,
All right, next we got Raul.
hold up. I just got to disagree. I got to be the skunk at the garden party as far as this. I'm going to go with David Martinez. There's just a certain reality to the amount of dogs that you're going to have. And
Is there?
Oliveira, yeah, there is. You're not going to have 13 dogs.
A smarter man than you, a statistical genius, would disagree. He would say, Dan, these are non-correlating events.
Well, that guy I would call bullshit on, because there's a reason why there has not ever been a single UFC event where every single dog has hit. So, like, where's the line?
We're not talking every single dog. We're talking a good amount.
Well, I'm already at like 5. And
there's never been a time where more people have been betting on the UFC. So, while, yes, these are big inflated dogs now, 5 years ago, it could have been a pick 'em. There just wasn't as much action. Now, everyone, they see a slight favorite, they bet on them. They bet on them. They bet on them.
Well, with more action, there will be less dogs hitting.
It moves the line.
More action means less dogs are going to be hitting. It's going to be more chalky. That's what Vegas wants.
No.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know anything. The chalk. So let's say these guys are naturally a minus 200 versus a plus 250, right? Or minus 180 plus 250. With the more people betting, if more bets are on the favorite, it moves that line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
if it's even, it stays the same. But as everybody just loads up on these favorites, now all of a sudden, this guy was said by Vegas. He wins the fight opening line. He wins the fight 6 out of 10 times. Now the public has made it so that when you're going to bet it, you have to bet it that he's going to win this fight 9 out of 10 times. And Vegas is going, if you want to bet 9-1, go ahead, because that's not the right math, and we will still win.
The only math that matters is that more often than not, there's about 3 dogs that go down per card. It's not 6, it's not 5, it's not 7, which I'm already at like 4 or 5, and I think I have a couple more to go. So yeah, there is a certain mathematical circumstance happening here. Not to say that it can't happen or that it won't, but those are the real odds that are happening here.
It doesn't matter the size of the dog. It matters about the dogs and the size. Okay, Rocky. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's going to happen as well. The odds do not influence the outcome of these fights.
They do predict them, though.
No, they don't.
They do. Because more favorites win than not.
That's why you'll never.
And the higher the favorite is, the higher the chance that it goes through. It's not like historically a minus 600 favorite is fucking 15 and 90.
Historically, when they're a debutante, it is.
Huh?
Historically, when they're a debutante, they lose. Debutantes lose at a 66.6% clip, Dan. Do you even listen to the numbers that Luke spouts out at you over here? Debutantes lose 66% of the time. Why would you bet on a minus 500 favorite debutante ever?
When you factor that statistic into the overall, if they're at minus 600 statistic, then it lessens up. So,
all right. Well, Dan, let me tell you this.
Fair enough.
Over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Over the last 13 events, okay, since November 16th, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Brady versus Edwards, 7 dogs win. UFC 313, 5 dogs win. Cap versus Amabayev, 4. Suda versus Song, 4. Cannonier versus Rodriguez, 4. UFC 311, 5. UFC Dern versus Chivas, 5. UFC 310, 4. There's been 4 or more, with a lot of them being 5 and 7 over here at the end, that have won over the last many months. So it's like you're talking about 2 to 3.
Well, my card, I just looked at all my picks, and the ones coming up, I have 5 total dogs. So I'm with you on that.
Okay. Well, the last time 3 dogs won a fight was December 7th, UFC 310.
You're living in the past, Danny.
Nah,
Yeah.
I guess I'm in the past.
And I mean, I'm looking at UFC 305, 6 dogs. UFC Lemos versus Jandaroba, 5 dogs. I
Are
mean,
these real dogs, or is it like minus 102 and you're counting that as the dog? Straight pick'ems.
I'm just looking at underdogs versus favorites, you know?
I got you.
Pablo,
Well, you are the
Pablo-
stats man, so
Sergey Pavlovich versus Curtis Blades, 7 dogs.
I wish I was in on that.
All right. We can dog talk all day. What fight are we on, boys? Rosas versus Morales? Rojas Jr., sorry. Raul Rojas Jr.
Yes.
versus Vince Morales.
Go ahead. Knock it out.
I'll take it away, I suppose. I'll go with Rosas Jr. by submission. Vince Morales, not impressed by him in the slightest. Raul Rosas Jr., he'll get on you like a dog on a bone. I think that you got to bet him to get a first round sub, though. While they're dry, make it happen easy. But I don't know if he's a cook him to the bone type of guy like Bryce Mitchell. I think that if it gets past the second round, it's probably going to decision. I don't think he gets a third round sub, but Vince Morales will get submitted, I think, within the first 2 rounds.
I agree with everything you're saying there. Raul Rosas Jr. setup job. Nice slow burn from here on out. They learned their lesson the hard way with C-Rod and sicking that monster on him. But now it's back to the slow burn, and Vince Morales is just part of that process, unfortunately for him. So I think this is probably going to be Triple P certified. Luke.
What do you think if you bet $10 on all the fights? let me ask you this, both of you. What do you think if you bet $10 on all the fights? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think your best return on investment would be based on odds? So, for example, plus 900
or individually.
Individually, if you would just money line bet every dog, for example, if you bet every if you bet every dog that was, or every favorite that was minus 900, if you bet every favorite that was plus 100, if you bet every dog that was plus 900, what do you think the best ROI would be?
What, like a card that has all dogs winning?
No, I'm saying just when you look at a fight and you see the line, what line do you think is the best line to bet?
I would say plus 100. Okay,
if you bet on plus 100 all the way up to minus 122, okay, you would be down 2% on your money. $10 bet on every fight that was plus 100 to minus 122, you'd bet $10 on every single fight, you'd be down $51. Alex, what do you think?
Wait, but what are you? I hate Luke's accounting that he doesn't give any context to. Did all of them win or did all of them lose? What do we? Yeah, if the fights lose, you lose money. If the fights
blindly bet on every fight where the odds were plus 100 to minus 122, like I'm saying, like, what do you think the best range to bet on is?
Okay, I get it. The answer is going to be plus 500. We get your point.
If you bet on plus 500,
what you tell us instead of going through the charade? Just tell us.
plus five, you'd be down 36% on your money if you bet on every plus 500 to plus 400. So
you down 36%.
You'd be down $377. Yeah. What do you think, Alex?
250.
If you bet on the 250 range, you want 250 to plus 250 to plus 300 or plus 230?
I want 200 to 300.
Okay. You'd be up 2%.
Boom. See, because when we bet dogs within this range, they oftentimes win. You went through this. I knew the answer already.
So if you
I listened to your phony accounting.
No, if you bet plus 186 to plus 300, you'd be up 7% on plus 186 to plus 233. You'd be up 2% on plus 233 to plus 300. So you picked an excellent range, my friend Alex.
Thank you.
All right, so let's do an experiment.
Wait. The best return.
Those fights from here until the end of the month or something.
The best return on your money historically since 2020, the best return on your money is if you bet on blindly. If you bet every fight where the underdog was plus 900 or more, you would take $10. You would have 184% return on your money. You would at plus 900 or better. 8 fights have won, or sorry, 2 have won, 6 have lost. You would turn $10 into $147. That's the single best return. Yeah. That's. Well, wait, hold on. Yeah. It's saying that's. But what's weird is that it says 184% return on your money, betting on those 8 fights. But it says 7% return on your money. Because there was only 8 fights that happened at those odds. But the most money you would have won would have been the range that you said, Alex. 7% return, but you'd be up 209.
So what about Raul Rojas Jr.? What do you think about that one?
I think Morales fought well against Elijah Smith. He really wants to win.
No. Elijah Smith squandered every advantageous position he had on the ground. Raul Rosas Jr. will not do that.
No.
Wrong.
Right. No, I said Morales fought well against Elijah Smith. He really wants to win. He ain't going to win. Raul Rosas Jr. is getting the win.
Beautiful. Is he a hefty favorite? I don't think he's that big. Yeah, he's under. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know why I'm asking. I don't care. Or do I? Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. I'll take it away. Joe Pyfer is going to knock Kevin Gastelum out cold. He will do what Israel Adesanya couldn't. He's not a string bean. He's a grown, hearty Philadelphia boy, South Jersey boy, Philadelphia transplant. You got to go with Joe Pyfer. I mean, Kelvin Gastelum, change the Twitter name. Your mission for gold is up. It's been up for a while. Joe Pyfer's is just beginning. Joe Pyfer all the way. It's going to be a beautiful win. It's going to put him right into that conversation he was in not but a year or two ago.
Joe Pyfer, easy pick of the night. 100% a pillar. Kelvin Gastelum has just proven time and time again to not be up to the task. And at this point, I mean, he's got to be looking 40 dead in the eyes if he's not 40 already. And Joe Pyfer is a rising star who's already gone through some adversity with his loss against the Joker. So, this is going to be Joe Pyfer by finish. Probably get you in like the minus 200 range. So, give us Joe Pyfer.
Yeah, when the favorite is minus 400 to minus 576, there's been 137 fights like this. Only 11 times has the underdog won. I'm going with Joe Pyfer.
How many fights total? Sorry?
There have been 137 fights in the last 5 years. In the last 5 years,
and only 11. Wow.
and when the line is minus 400 to minus 567, so that's the range Joe Piper falls in, and in that range of the 137 fights, 126 times the Joe Piper side has won, 11 times the Kelvin Gastelum side has won. When a guy's plus 400, that's 20 minus 28% return on your money. You're down $400. It's actually the single greatest losing category when the fights line like this to bet on the underdog. So it's the worst bet you could make statistically. I'm going with Joe Piper. This is what the Sean Brady Leon Edwards fight in hindsight should have been lined. Very similar style matchup. You have a guy like Kelvin who has fought the caliber of opponent that Leon has versus a guy like Joe who's fought the caliber opponent that a Brady has. And this is the more appropriately lined fight. I think it's Joe Piper. I think it's Joe Piper by finish. But Kelvin, he does have a big head. He doesn't get knocked out very easily. But he's getting older and taking more damage every fight. So I think Joe Piper could knock him out. I think he could club and sub him. And I think Kelvin has never been a good cardio guy and is fighting at altitude. He's going to get smoked here.
Sweet.
Piper by finish. Because I don't know if he's going to crack him and choke him if Kelvin quits on himself and on his fans. But I don't see it going to decision. It is a 3-round fight. Kelvin could make it the distance. Joe Piper is the pick. Next, we got Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. Manuel Torres coming off that knockout loss to Iggy Bahamundes. Before that, submitted Chris Duncan. Before that, knocked out Nicholas Mata. Before that, knocked out Frank Camacho. Knocked out his way into the UFC on the Contender Series. And we got Drew Dober after taking a beat down by John Silva, getting smothered by Renato Moicano. Hasn't won a fight in a year and 5 months. He knocked out Ricky Glenn. Before that, knocked out by Matt Frivola. And before that, knocked out King Green. That's his last 5 over the last 2 years. 36-year-old Drew Dober. 30-year-old Manuel Torres. I'm taking El Loco to pick 'em fight. I like El Loco big here. I think C-Rod and El Loco are probably my 2 most confident picks of the night, and that's who I'm going with in a 2-leg parlay to win big money.
I love this move by the UFC because you got this guy who's clearly a great fighter. He loses his last fight, but instead of the UFC giving up on him, they put him in the co-main at a live event, Mexico City, his home. I don't know about home city, but home country. And it's a good fight for him, and it's like a pretty high up there name. It's like the perfect combination. I expect him to win this fight. I expect him to be back in the mix of a contendership. And man, this is gonna be a fun fight to watch. And I think that the hometown favorite is going to get it done in an emphatic fashion. Dober's chin showing some cracks as of late. He's been in so many wars, and he's getting up there in age himself. So I think Torres is going to get it done by finish, by knockout.
On FanDuel, Joe Piper is minus 350.
Ooh. And he's minus 425 on DK?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll triple P certify Manuel Torres. Drew Dober's durable though is concerning. Don't know how long that durability holds up. He's 36 at 155. He does train at altitude though. I'm not going with Dober. I'm going with Manuel Torres for sure. Triple P certified.
It's a great line, minus 130. I thought he'd be a bigger favorite.
Recency bias.
Dude, Dober's had like 60 fights, and 50 of them were wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take us in the main event, boys.
All right, main event. We got Brandon Moreno and Steve Erceg. This is my last pick and my last dog at plus 195 now. It's going up, down, however you want to put it. He was plus 180 before. So not a lot of public faith in Steve Erceg, but I do. I think he still's got the skills. I don't think Moreno is taking him down. And I think Erceg is a better striker. I think he pieces up Moreno. I think he's at least going to have the bigger shots. Now, is he going to get the nod from the judges? Well, it is kind of stupid to think that way because they're not from that area. Like, it's the same judges that just travel around. Now, it's whether they'll succumb to the pressure of the crowd. They didn't in London. Let's see if that carries over to Mexico City. I got Steve Erceg.
It's going to be a whole switch up. We didn't get any hometown bias in England, but that's just because they're too good of blokes out there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm going with Brandon Moreno here. I think Brandon Moreno goes out there, pieces up Steve Erceg, beats the hell out of Steve Erceg. And even if it's close, it's going to Moreno. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday he will be back fighting for the title again.
Completely agree. Brandon Moreno impressed the shit out of me in his last fight. I'm going with Brandon Moreno. I think Steve Erceg just, again, you want to talk about guys who you're betting fights that they look good in the loss. I mean, I thought he beat Pantoja 10 months ago, and now he's fighting Moreno. He's not that much taller. He doesn't have a bigger reach. He's not as good of a boxer. He's not a wrestler. So how does he beat Brandon Moreno? He doesn't. He gets pieced up, beat the fuck out of, and Moreno wins in Mexico.
Viva la Mexico, baby.
Well, with that, let's take him through the full picks, top to bottom.
All right. If you're rolling with me, you're going with Brandon Moreno, Manuel Torres, Joe Pyfer, Raul Rosas Jr., Simon Oliveira, Ronaldo Rodriguez, Edgar Chairez, Jose Medina.
You skipped. Oh wait, Rodriguez, yeah, and then Chairez.
C-Rod, Lupe Godinez, Vince Pichel, Jamal Emmers, and Markel Medeiros.
Alex, if history says anything, it's you hit a perfect parlay this weekend.
I know.
Ooh. And you don't bet it.
And I'm not going to bet it.
Maybe they'll give you a free bet, and you could bet that. But, I mean, if history, I'm looking at Alex's parlay, and I'm going to be betting it.
No, Luke, I think I'm just a little early. Usually it's a mid-April card that I strike lightning on. But usually Max Holloway's fighting on that.
You mean like your birthday card?
Yes, my birthday card. That's usually when I strike fire. But usually Max Holloway fights on my birthday.
Well, this time Volkanovski fights the weekend of your birthday, and I hope you do the right thing and just put your whole paycheck on Diego Lopes. Get even or get even worse.
All right. If you're rolling with me, starting from the top, I'm going to go with Steve Erceg, Manuel Torres, Joe Pyfer, Raul Rosas Jr.
Wait. Hold on. Why are you going with Steve Erceg? What was your reasoning? Because I must have not been listening.
I think he's a better boxer. I think he could out-wrestle.
Way wrong. He's not a better boxer.
Yes, he is.
He's not a better wrestler.
Moreno has no motivation at this point. He's been there.
He just beat the fuck out of undefeated Amir Albazi.
Overrated Amir Albazi. I remember when that was a robbery, his last win, Amir Albazi. I forget what was it, Kaikar France?
Only freaking wallabies think that was a robbery.
No. It wasn't impressive to say the least. So, I think Steve Erceg murks all three of those guys, including Moreno.
He lost. He got knocked the fuck out.
Got knocked out by Kaikar France like in his last fight
Fluke
6 months ago at least.
Fluke job. Get out of here. Who cares?
And do you know what Brandon Moreno did to Kaikar France? He also knocked him out. He also knocked him unconscious.
More than me. Not that has anything to do with it. I just wanted to add on the record.
Moreno's so overrated, bro. I think Erceg is going to have a second.
I called him Lego Boy, but
yeah.
Lego Boy Moreno. All right. Okay. Sure. Steve Erceg goes down to Mexico and beats Brandon Moreno. Sure. I agree. Moreno has never been the same since they took Krause away from him. Free Krause.
No. Can't do the crime, don't do the time.
Free Jimmy. Free Jimmy Krause. Okay. Erceg, Torres, Pfeiffer, Raul Rosas Jr., go on.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot I was midway through. Raul Rosas Jr., David Martinez, Kevin Borjas, CJ Vergara, Jose Medina, 3 dogs in a row. Christian Rodriguez. What does the algorithm say about that, Luke? You fucking loser. Christian Rodriguez. We got Afa Garcia, Jamal Emmers, and starting off with the dog, count them, 5 in total, Austin Hubbard.
Did you add 2 because Luke told you that? Is that why you had to take Steve Erceg to get the 5th one? After Luke told you how many?
Like, he was saying, like, it's a big time possibility there's going to be 5 dogs. And, like, as he's saying that, I'm counting in total because I didn't get to our last pick yet. I was like, yeah, that's 5 total. I fucking know. Yeah, I'm picking 5 dogs.
Like, all right, well, if you're going with me, Austin Hubbard starting off the night, he'll lose for sure. Jamal Emmers will probably lose as well, but maybe not because Alex picked him. And I think Alex is going with the perfect parlay. Hubbard, Emmers, Pichel, Godinez, Therod, Medina, Vergara, Borjas, Martinez, Raul Rosas Jr., Joe Pfeiffer, Manuel Torres, and Brandon Moreno. Trophy certified picks, Raul Rosas Jr., big underdog, Jose Medina. Value play of the night, C-Rod, trophy certified Christian Rodriguez, and Lukey Godinez. Loopy. But with Medina on that, if we go 4 for 4 on the trophy certified, you're going to win a lot of money. We love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week, and the cards are going to get a little bit better from here. It seems we got what's the next card? Because I'm really, for me, it's all about Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes is my retirement. My retirement.
Josh Emmett and Lerone Murphy.
Ooh. Interesting one, interesting card. I'm looking at it now. Yeah. This next one's kind of a stinker. Oh, okay. Gerald Mershark versus Brad Tavares. Oh, who gives a fuck? Could you imagine a fight with you got a guy with 18 losses and a guy with 10 losses? First fight on the main card. Could you imagine a fight with less implications?
First fight. Let's break it down.
There's no implications in that fight. Whoever it's like. Loser does whatever the fuck he wants. Winner does whatever the fuck. Loser does whatever is next. Winner does whatever is next. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Makes no damn bit of difference. But after that, we got UFC 314, Saturday, April 12th. So it looks like we got a bit of a break coming up. Yeah, no, I guess not. Damn, April's getting here before we know it.
Yeah, last week of March.
So we got the last week in March, first week of April. So yeah, wow, no break. All right, so. UFC 314, I mean, that's Michael Chandler, Paddy the Baddie. That's Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. That's Jeff Neal, Carlos Pratis, Dominic Reyes, Nikita Krylov, John Silva versus Bryce Mitchell, the Flat Earth's main event. We got Jim Miller, Chase Hooper, a fight that you would assume has happened for some reason. Who did Chase Hooper fight that he fought Clay Guida? Yeah. Okay. I should have told Clay.
Wait.
You didn't met Clay. I should have been like, how didn't you beat Chase Hooper? I would beat Chase Hooper, dude.
But did you tell Clay that? Did you tell Clay that?
No, I didn't. But when I was hugging Clay Guida, I was like, he's like a 135 pounder. I'm like, I could lift him up. I asked Alex, like, what was I taller than Clay? Let's see the picture. I think I was taller than him. He had a hat on and his hair, and I was slouched and I leaned in, right? But I mean, you can't see it, but I'm telling you right now,
why wouldn't you just download it and put it onto the show? We got Ye talking about the product. You don't got.
I was a little bit taller. I was the same height. I was the same height, or maybe an inch on Clay. And what's his recorded height?
Let's take his word for it.
I mean, it's like I was like kind of. I wanted to be like Clay, dude. How didn't you beat Chase Hooper? I would beat Chase Hooper, dude. A couple of years ago. I'm getting a little old now, but. Clay Guida is listed. Clay Guida is listed at 5'7". I'm gonna tell you guys right now, Clay's not 5'7".
And Joe Rogan's 5'8".
Well, in this picture, he looks an inch taller than me. I'm 5'6". He looks an inch taller than me, but I'm leaning in. You can see I'm slouched. I'm slouched in. My posture's not so. And he's kind of like this. So I would say Clay's a 5'6", maybe 5'5". Tapology, update your records. And Chase Hooper, he's listed at 6'1". 6'1". Weight bully. Oh, we got Darren Elkins, Julian Erosa at UFC 314. We got Lord versus Cedricus Dumas on the fucking prelims. We got Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull on the prelims. That's a travesty. That's a Travis Barker.
Yeah, I did see that. That was crazy.
Dan Ige, Sean
It was
Woodson.
on the main card, but then they switched it.
Dan Ige, Sean Woodson.
That's great.
There's only two female fights on the whole card. One of them is Verna Jandaroba versus Nine Yan Janan. This is going to be a battle. So I'm saying this is a good ass card, guys. UFC 314. It's literally all gas, no brakes. I think we might break down UFC 314 every episode from here till UFC 314. We should just do a UFC 314. No, yeah, exactly. The judges' lives are at stake.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty
Way
crazy.
more in Mexico than London. Are you kidding me? The cartels.
That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying. Yeah.
He's saying no hometown bias in London because the judges' lives are not at stake in London. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I expect the Martel cartel to be in full effect. Okay, so we did it all, right? Listed the full picks, Troll P Survey picks. We love you guys. Thanks for joining the show, and we'll see you guys next week for hopefully. We got a little bit of work to do, but May is just around the corner. I'm apt and poised to not be an embarrassing situation by May, and I believe that we're gonna get there. We're gonna do just fine. Okay, we love you guys. Thank you. Take care. Kiss your loved ones. Hug your babies, and
I don't give a fuck.